Thrifty Living. I'm so happy you're here today, and I'm going to be making a recipe that I haven't made in a few years. And if you watched my video, I dusting my bookshelf, I showed some of my cookbooks. I got this when I lived in Michigan. That was many years ago. And if you've listened to my glimpse of my life, I've mentioned living there. And this is a peanut butter bar cookies. And it's really delicious. It's turned out good, so I'm hoping it will this time for you. But the first thing it calls for is half a cup of butter. This is margarine. So a half a cup of sugar and a half a cup of firmly packed brown sugar. I'm gonna use a little bit less sugar packed. And so I'm gonna just kind of mash it down a little bit. For a teaspoon of vanilla, but I'm gonna just put my guesstimate of vanilla in there. And a half a cup of peanut butter. It's gonna be here. I'd say that's gonna do a half cup. Making a mess, boy. A half teaspoon of soda, a fourth of salt, a cup of flour, and a cup of oats. I think mine are the other that's old-fashioned, which is I'm okay with. A half a cup of one. So I'm going to just take this, the dry part, and I'll just use that for my little scooper thing. That's a half cup, so one half goes in there, and another half. My cup of oats. Now let's see, this is a third, so I need 3 of these. Here's my salt and a half teaspoon of that. And I'm just gonna eyeball that. My baking soda. That's a fourth. Well, we're gonna do heap in there. So I'm gonna mix this just with my wooden spoon here. And it calls for a 9 by 13. And this has a topping on this one. So later, after it gets out of the oven, we'll do this. I'm going to spray this, brush it, ready to go in the oven. Usually I do this before. I am so backwards today here, and I do want to get the oven off as fast as I can. I think it's supposed to be a little cooler. I think it's going to be in the maybe high 80s today. At 350. For 20 to 25 minutes. There was a personal note at the end of this that said, this recipe won $500 in a bake-off. And the person that gave this recipe was from New Haven, Ohio. Does anybody know where New Haven, Ohio is? I don't. I've been in Ohio, just driving through there. And Steve and Nina live in Ohio. They are YouTubers that I love to watch. Ready to go in the oven. I'll check it in 20 minutes. Okay, I'm back. And it's hot, and this took 20 minutes, but I bumped my oven up to 360 because I know every time it is to sing the warmest fast. It says to put a cup of chocolate chips. Mine's just a tad less. On the top of this hot, straight out of the oven. I want to get a little bit everywhere. And while that is cooling, the next step is to put powdered sugar, a half a cup of powdered sugar, and a fourth cup of this peanut butter, and I think that's going to empty this one out. And I'm doing guesstimates here. I may use my mixer to mix this up. It might be a little on the hard side to mix up. The glass jar too. Some of them are not glass anymore. I do like the glass jars better. You can reuse them a lot better, and I think they're a lot safer for you. I hope everybody's having a good day today. Mine's been good, and my videos a lot of times are a day or two later. Sometimes a little longer than that. I try to get a few ahead or whatever, Now, because I just came home from church and we have a little gathering tonight, and I'm going to take these bars with me to that gathering, but you won't see it for a couple more days. So I have my peanut butter and my powdered sugar in here, and then it says 2 to 4 tablespoons evaporated milk. Well, I probably have some evaporated milk in the cabinets, but I'm not going to get it out for this. I'll just use what I have in the refrigerator, and I think it's a oat almond milk at the canned food place, and you can go back and watch that video too. This was a good deal on this. So it calls for 2 tablespoons, 2 to 4. So I'm going to put a drop and a drop. This dish is still hot, so I'm going to be careful. I hope you can see. Let's see. You can see it's runny. You want it runny. It could maybe be even a little bit more. And I'm going to drizzle this all over. Whew. I guess I could have had it a little bit more runny, because I'm getting a big glob the first time I put it on. But that's got to be so good, you guys. It's got all the basics of the good stuff. One thing that'd make it even better, and I probably won't put it on, I have some peanuts up there, but I think they're raw. Better if they were toasted, and I could do that, but it didn't call for it. And it's got the peanut butter inside is a little chunky. It's not as chunky as some of them. But look at that. I have a feeling this will go over pretty well. I hope. If not, I'll have some leftovers and some to share with my neighbors or something. I have one more thing to add to this video. I'm back with this delicious bar cookie. Peanut butter. I am going to take a screenshot of this recipe, and you can freeze your video for a minute and write this down if you like. That came out very easy, so that's good. I'm going to take a bite of this in just a minute. Before I take this bite, I've been giving a shout out to some of the channels that I watch. Most of them pretty regularly, some of them every day. Kind of got 2 of my videos, channels mixed up. Not that they're anything alike. And I mentioned this, but I didn't call the name right. It's Southern Country Living. And it was with Calvin and Marie. And I kind of got that mixed up a little bit. They are a beautiful couple. They live in, I think it's Georgia. Don't quote me on that. But they're just such a sweet couple. And they've had a lot of health problems. And they just do a beautiful job. They are growing a garden this year. And they cook and they show their family sometimes. It's just a fun channel to watch. And this is why I got it mixed up, because I watched another one, Southern Frugal Mama. And they live in East Tennessee, and they're kind of pretty country-like. They remind me of that. And she cooks up some foods that you just don't think of, and she's always watching out for a bargain. She might take $3 and go to Dollar Tree or Walmart or whichever store, and only use that amount of money to make a dinner for her family of 5. It's interesting how she stretches her money, and she always has her husband and her 3 boys to taste test it, and they're just all so sweet. I watch regularly, and I'm probably almost every day, is Sensible Living with Money Mom. She lives in the Dallas area, and her videos are pretty short, and I do find myself watching shorter videos faster. I'll turn them on and watch them, and then some of the longer ones I'll watch a little later. But this one, she talks about money, saving money, practical tips. She demonstrates food in stores like, I don't know which stores she does, but you've probably been in Costco and all those and had the food demonstrators. She also schedules secret shoppers. And so it's very interesting to hear her. And she's always got some good tips for you to keep your money safer and save it for a rainy day. Another one I want to mention today is Our Tribe of Many. They have 11 children, and her husband is from Africa, Kenya, I think it is. They pastor a church in Lincoln, Nebraska, I believe it is. And their family is so sweet. It's amazing what they do as a family. And they just bought a country home, and they moved their family into a smaller home as they get ready to build another. And they have chickens, and they have a pond on their place, and it's just really. And she makes a lot. She makes cheese and makes her food for her big family, and of course they all help the kids. It's interesting. You'll find that interesting thing. Before I get my mouth all messed up, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I just always, and I know I always say this, but I just pray God blesses you. He just gives me a peace. Jesus gives me a peace that I don't think I could live a day with him in my life. And I just pray, if you haven't thought of Jesus lately, just thank him. He gives you the very breath that you take in your life. He gives us our health, whether it's not the most perfect, whether there's some things wrong, but he gives us what we have, and we just need a thankful heart. And thank you for joining me. And okay, a bite to go with. And then after the camera's off, I'll finish this up. It's good. As good as I remember it. Come back, and God bless you.